edition of Prime R. We are still preparing for the celebration of the International Day of the Woman, which is going to be celebrated tomorrow across the globe. This evening, like we announced early this morning on our social media handle, we are receiving women who are living in the maritime world sector in Cameroon. Women of the International Shipping and Trading Association, they call them Wista Cameroon, are going to be sharing their experience working in this sector of our national life and telling us how they are integrated to the international platform for women in that sector, that is women who are into shipping and trading. So, are there some challenges they are facing? How did it even occur to them to decide to engage in this sector of activity? We're going to be knowing also how they are planning to celebrate tomorrow with women across the world. We are discussing this with panelists who are residents here in Douala and some from Kribi. We are in the company of Mrs. Mbeng Elizabeth, who is the Senior Maritime Administrator. She has served in the Ministry of Transport and Merchant Shipping Department. She was seconded to the Cameroon National Shippers Council, where she served as Director of Assistance to Shippers before her retirement. Currently, she lectures part-time at the Institute of Transport and Logistics, University of Bamenda. Madam, we are glad to have you for the first time on Prime R.
It's a privilege for me.
How are you?
Doing great.
Okay. We hope the students of the Institute of Transport and Logistics are also doing great, tapping from your rich experience.
Well, they were supposed to be tapping from my rich experience, but for the past 1 year and a half, I've not been able to go there because of the situation that we are all aware of.
The Anglophone crisis. We're glad to have you this evening with us. We also are in the company of engineer Mabuh Linda Epuz Chunga. She holds a degree in maritime engineering at the Regional Maritime University, Ghana. She is the president of Wista Cameroon, and she is also a port officer at the Port Authority in Kribi. We're glad to have you.
A pleasure.
All the way from Kribi?
All the way from Kribi.
You brought us some fish?
We have a lot of fresh fish in Kribi. We are inviting you guys to come so you can eat some fresh fish. Okay,
we hope that tomorrow we'll make up time to go to Kribi to join and celebrate with you guys out there. We also are in the company of Mrs. Mbeng Mabel Epuse Etape. She holds an MSc in port management. She studied in Liverpool, John Moores University in the United Kingdom. She is the Public Relations Officer of Wista Cameroon and Chief of Service in the Analysis, Foresight and Cooperation Directorate, Port Authority in Douala. Good evening, Ms. Etape. We're glad to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Greetings to all the women out there. Greetings to the women of Wista. Greetings to the entire women of the Port Authority of Douala, Cameroon. We are glad that we are sharing our experience here this afternoon. And we want to say special thanks to the manager of the Port Authority of Douala, because he is indeed encouraging the women and acknowledges the competence of women out there.
Okay.
Thank you.
We also are in the company of Maître Sophie, Sylvie, Djoufa, Tingani, yes, yeah. She holds a diplôme du Centre de droit maritime et océanique de l'Université de Nantes. That is in France.
Yes.
Yes, and she's a member of Wista, avocat au barreau du Cameroun et maritimiste.
Yes.
Yes, bonsoir et bienvenue.
Merci beaucoup, merci. C'est avec beaucoup de plaisir que je me retrouve sur votre plateau. Et moi, vous allez vous rendre compte que je suis la francophone de la liste parce que Wista est bilingue.
Okay.
Donc, qu'on soit anglophone ou francophone, on a sa place dans le Wista.
Okay, we are starting with the president of Wista. Yes, I want to, you are an engineer.
Yeah.
And first, our televiewers want to get from you what caught you to wanting to join this sector of our national life, that is the maritime world.
Growing up as a young girl, I always had a passion to become an engineer.
Okay.
So my dad sent me to a technical school, Etape Mabel, where I studied electricity. So I furthered in Ghana in marine engineering because I wanted to sail on board the ship where I could use both electrical and engineering background as a woman. Yeah, so it has been my passion, and I did everything I could to persuade it despite the challenges I faced in my community, and coming back home to get a job, it was quite challenging.
It was quite challenging. How easy or difficult was it for you to, you studied from Ghana, you came back, you had to spend some time before getting...
Yeah, I had to spend about 3 years, and most companies were not accepting us. Most women that graduated first class at the Maritime University in Ghana were rejected by ship owners because they are women, not because they are not qualified. So it was, I had to meet a barrister. I went to his office in Accra and I asked him to go through the laws in Cameroon. Like, where is it written that a woman shouldn't work on a ship? Where is the law in Cameroon? So he told me it's not written anywhere. So I kept pushing. I didn't give up. I started working with an electrical company with my advanced level background. And one day I was called up by a Singaporean company, and they were so happy to see me. They were based here in Cameroon, there at Bonanjo, and they were surprised that they've never seen a woman with such a background, engineering and electricals, and they had to take me on board their vessels, and that's how I started my career.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today you are in Kribi?
Yeah, today I'm a port officer, but sailed on board for the past 10 years as an engineer on board the ship.
Engineer on board the ship, what do you do?
It entails a lot. We do maintenance on engines. When the ship is about to sail, they call us to start engines, stop engines, operations, maintenance of a lot of machineries. So you need to be very strong, tough, and maybe frequent the gym in order to keep up with the men, because I was the only woman all these years on board our vessels. I didn't come across any Cameroonian woman. I work with one British woman. So that's what pushed me to think of getting an association like this so that we can have a voice in the industry.
Okay. Miss Mbeng Elizabeth, you are the doyen here. Yes, when did you think that you should engage in working in this sector? Is it the fact that you were working at the Ministry of Transport that you were diverted, you say you were seconded, or it is something that has been a passion also?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Actually, the sea is my passion.
Wow.
Before coming to the Ministry of Transport, I was already trained. I already had a DSS in maritime law and transport before coming to work in the Ministry of Transport. Actually, I started off by doing international law, and I got to the master's level. And when I got there, I found out that if I was going to pursue my career, I was going to become a diplomat. And I didn't want to stay out of the country. So then I looked at the branch of international law that could bring me back home, and I would be useful to my country, to the economy of the country. That's why I then went ahead to specialize in the law of maritime transport, and obtained a DSS from Aix-Marseille in France.
Okay, in France, yeah.
So I came back home, and then I was privileged because by then there were not many specialists to be employed immediately. Actually, I was employed in France before coming back home. So I worked with Socamark, the handling agency, and then I went on to work with the Ministry of Transport, the Merchant Shipping Department. Then I was seconded to Cameroon National Shippers Council. So it's a passion. I love the sea.
It's a passion. As a woman, she sharing her experience that she was a lone woman during her 10 years going on sea as a Cameroonian. Yes, yeah, but how challenging was it working as a woman in that field? Oh, you did not face situations as because you were working in the office?
Yes,
okay.
I'm working on land, show-based.
But was it challenging?
Oh, well, to a certain extent, I can say it was challenging, but I did not really face any challenges because I came already educated at a level where people think level-headed. Yes, because at a certain level, people will be talking about gender. But when you get past that level to another level, they see you for who you are, for what you can do, what you have, and they don't see you necessarily as a woman. But I would say that I had almost the same situation because I would often find myself all by myself, alone as a woman, in most of the top meetings. Yes. But I was blessed because I worked with men that accepted me for who I was.
Okay. Miss Etape, you went to Liverpool to study this stuff. Were you counseled by somebody? Was it a passion? Like, what were you opting to get?
Thank you, Mr. Leo. At the early stage of my career, I was not into maritime.
Okay.
Yes. I was studying, I was more like, I had ambitions, but I never had proper orientation. I just knew that I want to be a great woman. I want to be a powerful woman. I want to be that one that will speak and people hear. I want to be that one who will impact nations. But I never had a proper orientation. So when I got to after my degree, I joined the maritime industry because I wanted like work in the port. I wanted to understand what is going on, ships coming, ships going out. How is it being managed? So that pushed me to seek for employment in the port. So while there, I was not still feeling fulfilled. I'm in an industry that I have not studied. I've not had a background. So for me to be at the level that if they need somebody, they can see me, I need to increase my capacity. I need to increase my know-how so that tomorrow you will not say it's because you are a woman, but because you are not capable. So at times we are left behind, not because we are women, but because we are not up to the challenge. So I took upon myself that there's need for further studies, and I was supported for it. I had encouragement from people like Mr. Ngene Tepe and others, and I had pushed forward. So I went into Liverpool John Moores University, which is a accredited university when it concerns port management. I went there and I had what I needed. That can make me speak, that can make me up to the task, that can make me be in a position without you seeing me as a woman, but seeing a competent person in front of you. So reason I went there, and I'm sure I'm fulfilled. Thank you, Mr. Leo.
You are fulfilled, and
yes.
Today you are talking to the world about this sector. Oui, mais vous êtes, c'est pas, vous faites quoi dans ce monde?
Dans ce domaine, dans ce monde-là, un peu comme Mabel, au départ, je n'avais pas pensé faire dans le droit maritime.
Okay.
Je ne l'avais pas pensé au départ, mais depuis toute petite, moi, je savais que je vais être avocate.
Okay.
Et plus tard, je l'ai été, et j'adore le challenge. Je me retrouve dans le monde des avocats où nous sommes assez nombreux. Il faut faire la différence. Et je me dis, je dois donc aller vers les nouveaux marchés. Je vais aller vers un domaine où il n'y a presque personne. Un domaine encore vierge. C'est donc comme ça que je m'y lance. Beaucoup m'ont découragé, m'ont dit, ce n'est pas possible, comment tu comptes y arriver? Tu n'as même pas un BABA dans le droit maritime, comment tu vas t'en sortir? Et par la grâce de Dieu, pendant que je cherchais la possibilité de me former, d'avoir une très bonne formation, je tombe un jour sur Maître Ngankam, qui est un expert en droit maritime internationalement reconnu. C'est lui qui m'encourage donc aller en France. Il me dit, tu vas en France, soit tu vas à Marseille, soit tu vas à Nantes, soit tu vas au Havre, tu fais ton droit maritime et tu reviens bien formé. C'est donc comme ça que je me retrouve en France. Je fais donc ma spécialisation. Je reviens. Mais malheureusement, pas comme notre doyenne. Elle a eu cette chance-là qu'elle a été immédiatement... oui, on l'a directement acceptée telle qu'elle, avec toutes ses compétences et tout. Mais chez moi, par contre, c'était le contraire. Arrivant comme ça, sans aucune relation quelconque, sans rien. Dès que j'allais vers les différents secteurs qui t'ont envoyé, machin. D'ailleurs, même qu'est-ce qu'il prouve que tu peux être compétente, malgré tout mon background. C'est donc comme ça que je me dis, ok, qu'est-ce que je dois faire? Je commence à chercher. J'ai créé un compte et un blog. Un compte Facebook, un blog. J'intègre les différentes associations du secteur maritime, dont le Wista, dont toutes les associations du secteur maritime du Cameroun. Je suis membre et c'est donc comme ça que j'ai trouvé mes voies, comme on dit que c'est cette association-là, ce sont les réseaux qui se multiplient. C'est donc comme ça que je me retrouve dans mon couloir et aujourd'hui, je suis contente d'y être. Parce qu'au fur et à mesure, je suis reconnue, je suis déjà dans les bases de données de l'OMI. J'ai été panéliste lors du lancement officiel du 8 Moka en 2021 au Ghana. L'autre jour encore, dernièrement, en décembre 2022, là, au Sénégal. Donc, je suis en train de retrouver effectivement mes repères et je suis très à l'aise. Encore plus à l'aise lorsque mes confrères et autres me regardent. Ils ont l'impression que je descends du nuage et puis voilà, pour une femme qui se retrouve comme ça dans ce secteur, ce n'est que louable. Et nous encourageons au Wista les jeunes femmes, les jeunes filles à intégrer, à aller vers les nouveaux marchés, surtout à accéder, à entrer dans le domaine maritime où c'est plus masculin que féminin.
But this maritime sector, how capital is it? Because almost everybody is talking about the Port Authority in Douala, Port Authority in Kribi. We have the Chico Waf and Limbe and a host of others. But not so much is talked about this sector. Who is hiding it from? Because they don't talk about it like any other sector. Why are you people not communicating on what you're doing?
People, okay, mommy.
Yeah.
I want to say that the maritime industry is actually one of the most globalized industries in the entire world.
Yes.
If you can imagine that 95% of all our foreign trade passes through the sea, then you can see the weight of the industry. And it's globalized in a way that you can, I always say, no shipping, no shopping.
That's true.
That's true, because if the ships are not there, the cargo is not there, and the economy cannot turn around. But unfortunately, people think that the maritime sector is the port. It is not the port.
But why is this sector that is so capital to our survival, because that is how I would see it, why is it not so much talked about? Many persons are not aware of the importance, the activities, because you were to ask me, I would really not know the intricacies surrounding this sector.
Yeah, you're correct. But we need people like you who would objectively assess a situation and let us present the sector so that people can know us.
Yeah.
If we didn't come to this place today, nobody would even know that there are women in the sector at a certain level and that we have, offshore, specialists in the sector. We have engineers, we have women working on the deck, bridge officers, Cameroonians. Nobody knows because nobody has ever given us the opportunity, to come and say who we are and what we are doing. All they know is that they talk about the port. Fine, the port is only a logistic platform for the stakeholders in the maritime domain.
But what are some of the other aspects that actually are operating within this sector that are unknown to the people? You say when people hear about maritime, all that comes to them, to their mind is the port. What are some of the activities that accompany this sector?
The activities offshore. We have platforms, oil rigs. You can go on board a rig and you see about 300 people on board that rig. Different nationalities. And you find very few Cameroonians because we are ignorant about the sector. So we are here to sensitize our nation. When you go to other countries in West and Central Africa, you can see that they are aware of it. So I think the government has to see into it that it is spoken more about, because parents are not aware that this sector has a lot of opportunities, especially for young girls. You go on board a rig, you see 400, you don't see a woman on board that rig. And you go in another country like Namibia, you find women on board rigs, chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, women. But you find a lot of women from Africa, especially Africa. There are very few. That is why IMO is fighting that women should be increased in this sector. So we are doing our best to reach out to all the young girls in all the schools as much as we can. We have a target to reach out in all the regions in this country so that our voice will be heard, that this industry will be known, so that we can exploit the opportunities.
Okay, we are talking with women, members of the Women International Shipping and Trading Association, Wista, Cameroon. They are here to tell young girls in Cameroon that there are lots and lots of opportunities in this sector. Yeah.
As you rightly said, there are lots of opportunities, but I think one of the problems is the educational system that has caused a lot of, let me say, scarcity, because now the educational sector is not really orienting the people, the young ones, into maritime sectors. And even the young ones that are getting into the sector, we see that more of the male genders are going there, because even us as parents, we feel. If you look at even from the tender age, when during Christmas we want to buy toys even for the children, you see they'll bring some kind of creative and brainstorming kind of toys to the male child. And the girl child, they will just give something like a woman carrying the baby or some kind of stuff. Exactly. Yes, it starts from the base. If from the base you cannot like start showing the girl child that your brain needs to work, you need to match up to the male gender, you need to make it even like the man. They will start growing with that kind of nonchalant attitude, knowing that I just need to take the one that is easy. But they should start knowing that the world is waiting for women that can stand and match up to the man, so that tomorrow it will not only find men in some kind of sectors, but even women. So it's going slowly, but surely we will get there.
But how lucrative is the sector? Because if you are inviting a young girl to get interested, she should see how lucrative, where opportunities exist.
Yes.
Because she just talked about going, is it offshore?
Offshore. There's a lot of money offshore. A lot.
Okay.
Most of them are paid in dollars.
Okay.
Yes, euros. So a lot of us back in Cameroon, we are so ignorant. The schools are out there, but so we have wrong schools that are not recognized by the government. Some are recognized by the government, and now the parents now don't know which one to choose, so that their kids can have jobs tomorrow. When you have certificates that are not recognized by IMO, it's difficult to get an international job. This sector is well paid international. It's not just national kind of, it's an international, it's a global thing. So when you are looking for a job, you send your certificates out there internationally. It's not just here back in Cameroon. So when you talk about how much people make out there, you'll be shocked. But once you are well trained in a good institution, you will make money and you will never regret. Even as a parent, you won't regret it.
Okay, you won't regret it. Now, you want young girls and some women who can to get interested and eventually join this sector. Que faites-vous? Est-ce que il ne faut pas aussi descendre dans les établissements parce qu'elle a parlé de système d'éducation.
Le système d'éducation, oui.
Et puis peut-être they don't get the orientation like you mentioned. Est-ce qu'il ne faut pas aussi descendre de temps en temps, parler avec ces jeunes filles dans des établissements secondaires pour les aussi démontrer how lucrative le secteur est?
Oui, justement, et c'est ça même la mission du Wista. Sa mission, c'est encourager, booster les jeunes filles et les femmes, les attirer dans le secteur maritime et au niveau managérial, pas simplement au niveau inférieur. Il faut aller au-delà. Donc, les parents doivent comprendre qu'ils doivent former les enfants, comme a dit Mabel, exactement comme les garçons, qui ne s'arrêtent pas simplement au premier cycle, qui vont jusqu'au cycle d'ingénieur pour pouvoir avoir leur base ou alors pour être compétitif au niveau international. Parce que si on n'a pas les compétences requises, on ne peut pas être compétitif au niveau international. Et qu'est-ce que le Wista fait donc? On va vers les écoles, dans des causeries éducatives avec les élèves, les étudiants, les femmes même du secteur de la pêche et autres. Wista va vers elles parce que parfois elles font la pêche artisanale tout simplement. Elles ne comprennent pas tout l'avantage qu'elles ont derrière l'activité qu'elles mènent. Et Wista est là pour leur ouvrir les yeux dans ce sens-là. Et les opportunités dont parlait encore Mabel et dont vous avez posé comme question, il faut dire qu'OMI, dans sa politique, d'encourager les femmes pour l'égalité de genre, dont on parle l'égalité de sexe, parce qu'on a compris que pour que cela soit possible, il faut que la femme soit véritablement formée, qu'on n'apprenne plus à la femme simplement qu'il faut faire les bébés, garder la maison et tout, mais qu'on peut également aller au-delà, au même titre que les garçons. Alors, qu'est-ce que fait l'OMI? Il offre souvent, OMI offre des bourses. Il offre des bourses.
OMI, what's OMI? Okay, International Maritime Organization that it offers scholarships.
Yes, yes. Oui, il offre, il faut le.
The specialized organ of the United Nations to cater for maritime affairs.
Okay.
Justement, cette organisation donc offre régulièrement des bourses aux jeunes femmes. Il offre également des formations. Actuellement même, il a lancé des formations pour les femmes du Wista et du WIMA pour une formation en leadership, LEAP, Leadership Accelerator Program, qu'ils ont lancé actuellement. Donc régulièrement, OMI fait ça pour encourager les femmes à se retrouver dans le secteur maritime et au niveau international, au niveau d'ingénieurs.
Okay. Now, I don't know. Mrs. Etape, good evening to all the panelists. Mr. Liu, I'm happy for this program, especially I'm seeing Sister Mabel Sumbong. Please, I need her number. It has been long. Frankie Moto, writing from Kumba. You know Frankie Moto?
I might know him, but maybe I've just forgotten. It's all right.
Yes, okay. Until she permits, I cannot share her number with you, please. Somebody is asking where they can enroll for this.
We have the Regional Maritime University in Ghana. Cameroon is a member state to that university, so it is accepted by companies around the world. That is where I studied. So when you studied in this school, we have Maritime University in South Africa, Egypt, that are recognized by IMO. So I think Ghana is the best because.
Okay. Derek is writing from
Can I just chip in something?
Okay.
I think there's a saying that says charity begins at home. Actually, we have the University of Bamenda. It's the only state university that has come up with a program for the maritime sector in the School of Maritime Transport and Logistics. And I want to say that the curriculum has been vetted at a very high level. So we can study here.
Okay.
If we need to go to Ghana, absolutely, it's for the, offshore, the nautical sciences. But when it comes to like transport proper, I think the University of Bamenda is doing a very good job.
Okay, so if you're a father and a mother watching us, maybe your child is reading something and you are not too sure about their future, they should start thinking about the maritime sector.
They offer jobs as well. The best students in level 200 already have jobs. Companies, the school in Ghana,
Okay.
they have companies on campus, offices on campus. They interview you, and you start going to see in your first, second year during your vacations, and that is how you join the company. So a lot of companies are visiting that institution.
Now, what does it take to get enrolled in either the school in Bamenda or the school in Ghana?
It depends on what you want to study. If you want to study nautical science, marine engineering, you need to have pass in English at the ordinary level, physics and maths, ordinary level and advanced level. And you need to be very good in English, speaking English. You can also learn, the Francophones can learn. They have 6 months English programs there in Ghana. Yeah, so that's what it takes to study either nautical science or marine engineering. And I want to add that we don't have a female marine pilot in Cameroon. We are still looking for the first female marine pilot, and we have one. She's not here in Cameroon, but she'll become our first female captain very soon, Tifo Nicolene. So we are encouraging our young girls that there's an opportunity for them in all our ports for them to become a marine pilot in our ports.
Please, can they give us the name of the school in Ghana?
Regional Maritime University, Accra.
Okay. So the name of the school is Regional Maritime University, Accra?
Ghana, yeah.
Okay. Or you go to the University of Bamenda, that there is an institute there, Institute of Transport and Logistics. You can study there, and then from there you further your activities. Let's talk a little bit about Wista in Cameroon. You said the objective is to get many more young girls. How are you functioning?
We have mentorship programs. We organize workshops. We go to these schools. We do talks, and we do follow-up programs. Like we have a WhatsApp platform where students ask us questions. Like when you visit your school, we get the feedback from the students, and we have a lot of. And Wista is not just women in the maritime; it's maritime and trade. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're a businesswoman, you are still part of Wista, because it's a business. The maritime sector is not just those of us working there, but those who are doing the buying and selling of goods. They are part of Wista. Yeah. So as I was saying, we go to schools, and we are planning to reach out to parents through the media, the radio, newspapers, so parents can know that they can send their children to such universities to study this field and make it alive.
Now, Wista Cameroon, for how long has it been existing, and how do you function with a global structure?
2 years.
Okay, 2 years?
Yeah.
Yes. What else, away from what she just said? Yes. What extra are you doing to encourage persons who are, especially within the business circle, to join your fold?
Within the association?
Yes.
We have scholarship programs. It offers scholarships to its members. So every year, Wista International is in 56 countries. So every year, every country benefits. You can choose 5 members to benefit from the scholarship program to increase our competencies, because Wista is out to encourage women at leadership positions.
Okay.
IMO wants the women to rise up to leadership positions, but we need to be competent. That is why we have these scholarship programs, mentorship programs, workshops. We have online programs where we exchange, we network with women in other continents in the maritime sector.
We network with women in this. Who is eligible to join you guys?
Oh, every woman is eligible to join. As she rightly said, that it involves women in the trading industry, involves women in the maritime industry. So every woman in the maritime industry, every woman in the trading industry is eligible to be part of Wista, because you can't grow without networking. She mentioned networking. It's a platform. Wista is like a platform where we come and boost ourselves. So where you see other women, the platform, which is organized by seminars and other conference talks, you learn a lot. So all those platforms boost you up to be a better version of yourself. So Wista encourages all women to be part of it. Be you in the trading sector, be you in the maritime sector, and be you a young lady who is still growing in, students who are still growing in their careers, because we orientate them, and we don't just orientate them and go. Then be in the house, they will be better oriented, because being outside there, hearing now and going back, they might forget, but be in the house will make sure that the decisions you take, they are the right decisions. Will make sure that your goals you are really pushing towards your goals. You are not wasting time on other things that are not profitable to you. We'll make sure that you set your goals. We follow you up with your goals that you've set. So Wista does a lot to orientate women in their career and make them boost up themselves to leadership positions. Even in getting jobs, we help you with your CV, and we make sure that your CVs are deposited at the right places. So there's a lot in Wista that every woman should find herself there.
Yeah, but how do you operate? You say you are in 56 nations across the globe.
Yeah.
You hold
we have international
global, you
conferences.
hold yes.
Yeah, yearly. Last year it was in Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah. So every year we meet, all the 56 countries meet, and we exchange ideas, and we network. Yeah.
You network, okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm delighted to follow your educative program. If we want to keep the transport ministry booming, I am recommending the lady with the white to become our future Minister of Transport. She has a real life experience and can build a good curriculum for young Cameroonians in this domain. Amdo Valentine Chawanu, I'm writing from Mabuh Bakundu. Okay, that should be in the southwest region. It should be in Meme Division. Hi, good evening. It's Mildred writing from Mutengene. Please, what are the qualifications in order to get to Wista? Wista is an association. It is not a school. It is an association for women who are in the maritime sector across the globe. It is an association, trading, logistics. Okay, if you find yourself in this domain, you now get into Wista, which is an association, and this association provides opportunities. So if you are watching the program and you are dreaming, you are hoping to one day become a member of Wista, you better get enrolled in one of the programs that would get you into the maritime industry in Cameroon, for those who are Cameroonians. Okay, but we must also say, like they are saying, that it is a very, very lucrative sector. Yeah, Mr. Liu, one of the brothers in Mbeng Tombe, I really need to find out how this school functions. Okay, you can Google the school now.
www.regionalmaritimeuniversity.com. I think
you just Google Regional Maritime University, Accra, Ghana.
Yes.
Just Google it. You can, if you have a relative who lives in Bamenda, send them to the University of Bamenda, to the Institute of Transport and Logistics. They are going to find out what is required. Mais est-ce qu'on peut aussi dire que c'est un secteur qui n'est pas assez exploité par des Camerounais?
Justement, c'est un secteur encore vierge, comme je disais, et on encourage les jeunes à aller vers des nouveaux marchés, comme on dit, parce que partout c'est saturé. Si on vous demande, et avec l'éducation, comme disait Mabel, lorsqu'un enfant arrive en classe de terminale, tu lui demandes ce qu'il va faire. Il va te dire, je vais faire la A, je vais faire droit, je vais faire mathématiques, je vais faire médecine, je vais faire physique, mathématiques.
Tout le monde est déjà là-bas.
Voilà. Personne ne te dira qu'il envisage être marin, commandant de port, pilote. Ils se disent que c'est impossible. En fait, je pense qu'ils se disent que c'est impossible, que c'est une affaire des autres, mais non. C'est pour ça que Wista sensibilise régulièrement dans ce sens. Et vraiment, les émissions comme celle-ci, elles sont importantes Parce que si vous ne l'aviez pas fait aujourd'hui, personne ne saurait qu'il y avait une association qui existe qui s'appelle Wista. Personne ne saurait que les femmes ont la possibilité d'accéder au secteur, dans le secteur maritime. Et cela se fait aisément. Mais certains pensent que c'est impossible. Ou alors que c'est seulement le domaine des hommes. Mais non, voilà un ingénieur auprès de vous.
Okay. Now, I was following up the interviews to Wista. I love to send my children. I'm writing from Boya, Maritime World. This is, many persons are getting to learn about this and also learning that there are so many opportunities. What would you tell a parent who is watching us now, or a child who may be at the level of the high school or does not really know what to do? What can you tell them to start doing so that they would be directed to this sector?
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. I want to say that that's why we are here on this platform, to be able to educate people, to sensitize people, to know that out of being, doctors, teachers, good professions, there are other professions that are not exploited yet in Cameroon. So if you are a parent and you have a child who is good in the sciences, begin to consider the possibility of sending that child to the Regional Maritime Academy in Accra. And the good news about the Regional Maritime Academy is that it is a sub-regional school. It doesn't belong to Ghana. It belongs to five countries in our sub-region. It belongs to Cameroon, it belongs to Ghana, it belongs to Sierra Leone, it belongs to Gambia. There are actually 5 countries there. And the advantage of a Cameroonian studying there is that the government of Cameroon shoulders almost 50% of your tuition fee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the parents are up to paying just 50%.
Yeah.
So because we are a member state, the government contributes annually into the school fund. So Cameroonian students are subsidized 50% of the tuition fee. So that's an advantage to go there, because it's going to cost much more cheaper than ever dreaming of doing maritime studies anywhere in the world, because they are very expensive because of the nature of the sector and the complexities of the ships and all that surrounds the shipping industry. So studying in this sector is very expensive. But since the government subsidizes, it's a good opportunity for Cameroonians to seize. And I want to tell you that the Cameroonians who have been there have just been outstanding, most of them, because they come from a background of, general education, then maybe having, the sciences at advanced level, but they have that background. And when they go there, they simply excel, And as you were saying, the university has now spread out in a way that it's known all over the world. So many shipping companies are coming to the university to source for seamen to work in their vessels. Yes, actually, the example I can give is my own very son. He went in to do marine engineering. In the second year, he was already, recruited by a German shipping company. Before he ever got to the 4th year, he graduated last year, and they picked him up immediately on a vessel in Brazil, and he has sailed for 8 months. He went back to the academy just 2 weeks ago, and another contract came for him to go on a container vessel. So these are good opportunities. And she was talking about the offshore. I want to say that onshore, the maritime industry has many, many professions. You can be a transit officer, you can be a forwarding officer, you can be a ship broker, you can be an insurance, insurance. The professions are so many. And that's why we are so grateful for the opportunity that you have given us to come and open the eyes of parents and students alike to know that there is another domain where they can make a living and make a very comfortable living.
Okay, I want to read this to you guys. I hope someone responds to it. I've not read it myself, but it's somebody, Mr. Young Patrice Lumumba. I don't know whether you guys know him. He is of the Cameroon Seafarers. Yes, I've received them here, I'm sure, twice.
Yes.
Okay.
So it seems as if he follows the Zoom meeting, or maybe he saw
We had
the poster also. So he sent me this that I should read out to you guys, and I don't know whether. Good afternoon to this August House of Maritime Brainstormers. It is with a lot of respect, honor, and pride that I, young Patrice Lumumba, General Secretary for Cameroon Seafarers Professional Trade Union, Polyvalent Navigation Officer, Maritime Consultant Expert, I will first of all extend my heartfelt congratulations to Wista, Cameroon. Your Zoom meeting was splendid. To me, it is my opinion, despite technical shortcomings, the resource person were up to expectations. I really didn't have questions after following the different presentations. I have only little contributions to share with you all. Madame Mbeng Mabel recall the women on principle and doctrine of women who can move mountains, qualities through determination, patience, perseverance, endurance, and resistance, irrespective of challenges. This goes even with men. Then followed our mother, Mommy Elizabeth. To me, she is a mentor, an example of a woman above all forms and light, be it professional, social, spiritual, and caring. She will never hesitate to open doors for scholarships wherever possible for professionals. Her presentation was profound to women today, teenagers, as compared to their difficult era where women were looked upon as being good just as housewives at this juncture. To galvanize our women, girls, teenagers, I recall what few great women have done in this world. We seem not to remember and realize it. The first women to command a ship at international level in this world were black ladies from Africa before any white woman. Secondly, women shy away from leadership. Indeed, they are great leaders. England, Margaret Thatcher, no prime minister up to date, has beaten her record. India is what it is today thanks to the late Iron Lady Indira Gandhi, who men plotted and assassinated. Corazona Acquire, whose husband was assaulted in front of her, haven't won elections and coming back to take power. She entered her husband's shoes and led the Philippines for 10 years. Today, this great nation, Megawati Suprotino, rule the biggest Muslim nation in the world. Indonesia, firmly today, it is one of the biggest industrial nations. Most recently, Angela in Germany, the richest European nation, left a record 3 successful mandates as chancellor, just to name these few in Africa. Miriam Makeba, Winnie Mandela, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I want to make it clear to our women, gender equality has no place for any debate today. I think it is an era God has made for women to prove their worth. Wista Cameroon should be strategizing on how to mobilize and bring Wista Africa to convince the AU to stand behind our candidate Rutu as the next General Secretary for the IMO. This can only be done if all African member states pay their dues so as to be eligible for voting in this December IMO General Assembly. Happy International Women's Day to Wista Cameroon. We always stand by you. Umbutu. Okay, so it's the Secretary General of the Cameroon Seafarers movement. Yes, tell us about the challenges in this, especially working on a vessel as a woman. The profession you guys are into, how do you, is it too demanding as wives? You guys are all married.
Yeah.
It appears everybody is married here.
Yes.
It means that only serious ladies are found in this business. Yes.
So working at sea as a woman, it was very challenging for me because I used to be the only black and the only woman on board the vessels I found myself. So what kept me going was my determination to become an officer, my determination to become an engineer, and my determination to encourage other women out there. Because in other countries, women are making, I've seen the female chief engineers, female captains like Captain Anna in Ghana. She encouraged us while we were at school in Ghana, so I felt that if she could do it, then I can do it. Despite the rejection, men were not accepting us and the struggle is still ongoing. IMO has done a great job, and we are still hoping that one day women will fully be accepted, especially when it comes to the offshore industry.
Offshore is in the sea, out there?
Yeah, on board the ship. On board the ship, they feel like we don't belong to this world. They feel like you're supposed to be home, married, and having kids. Some men feel like you can't. Some men get angry when they come on board chief engineer and they find me. I'm going to be their third engineer, and they're like, they don't want to accept it. But when we work, and I prove myself, I work hard, I study, I read a lot, and they get to, at the end, they get to enjoy working with you as a woman. You need to prove yourself. You need to be very hardworking in order to make it in this industry. So I want to encourage all the young girls out there that if I could make it, then they can make it as well. So it's not that difficult as they think. The seas are calm. They shouldn't be fooled by what they watch in movies.
Yes.
We have Central and West Africa is very calm. So the North Sea is very rough. So it's not as the thing. So to me, it's a good choice I made, and I want to encourage them to make that choice and become future chief engineers and future captains from Cameroon. And pilots.
Yes, sea pilots. The pilot what?
Marine pilot. They pilot the vessels in the port.
Okay.
When the vessels arrive from Europe, we have a tugboat that help to berth the vessel on the keel. So these tugboats are piloted by. You need a pilot to move the vessel, so they call them marine pilots. You need a pilot to bring the vessel from the channel. When a vessel arrives, to example the Douala port, the wait at the anchorage area, a pilot from Cameroon that masters the channel goes on board that vessel, and the captain stands by and watch, and the pilot brings the vessel into the channel and to the port. And the same when the vessel is about to leave. If the pilot is not there, the vessel cannot leave. Those are the laws, maritime laws that have been put in place that we are following.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Leo, an educative program as usual. Please greet my sister Mbeng Mabel. I'm happy seeing her after a long time. I'm Ekinde Eric, writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I wish to find out to my fellow women in the studio, is it possible for one who is a nurse to become a maritime engineer?
Of course, we have a lot of students from University of Buea that graduated, and they had to go to Ghana and start all over from level 1, because it's a 4 years program. If you want to have a BSc in marine engineering, nautical science, electrical engineering, it's 4 years. And we also have the 2 years diploma program, marine engineering and nautical science.
But yes, but there is also this problem. Mom, since you are the doyen.
Yeah, she's our mentor. She's
the mentor. Yeah, there are so many parents who also are worried that they send their children to some of these schools in Cameroon, almost everywhere they are doing maritime study. That is a big problem. And some of these schools are very costly.
I agree with you totally, Mr. Leo, and it's a very unfortunate situation because the maritime industry is globalized, and it is, you can't manage maritime within the national boundaries of any country. We all know that the sea is a common heritage. So,
comprendre parce qu'ils ont une formation internationale. Comme elle a dit, c'est pas l'affaire d'une nation, c'est international. Bon, maintenant, lorsque l'établissement n'est pas, il peut même avoir l'agrément, mais le diplôme qu'ils délivrent, comme chez Nama, ce sont les certificats et autres, ce n'est pas reconnu à l'étranger. Et ça devient donc une difficulté. Donc, comme elle a dit, il faut bien que les parents le sachent avant de s'engager.
Okay, so if you are sending your child to study this maritime studies in any institution in Cameroon, please be very, very careful. You should know what you are engaging yourself into. Now, we are saying that for you to join your sector, at the level of advanced or ordinary levels, you should study. Oh, after that you get. But at the very basic level, should that not be where we start giving orientations? That if you intend to do this at a higher level, from 1, from 2, from 3, from 4, we start tilting towards this direction, or we prioritize technical education?
Well, our education system is oriented in a kind of, we have the general sector, we have the technical sector. So there are some people who are already into the general sector. You can't tell them that switch to the technical sector. If you are already there, all right, you move on. But at a certain stage, let me say after your ordinary levels or your back, depending on the stage that you are, you can switch. It's never too late. You can switch and now took a session of education that you think it will be profitable to you. All this, you can even get it over the internet. There are some verifications that you can, rather than spending all your time on useless things over the net, you can go into research. Go into research. Now we are talking about the maritime. Go into research yourself, not waiting just on Wista. Ask Google the things that you have to do to become a marine engineer, the things that are expected of you. You now start studying them while going into those schools. If you have not yet, if you are still at a teenage level, parents have a great work to do. They should start orientating these children towards their goals, telling them even about the marine sector where they don't have idea about. Because when in our tender age, parents have the tendency of like telling you that, you'll be a lawyer, you'll be this, you'll be this. Present to the child all the domains that are existing. The marine domain, the accountants, nurses, doctors, and allow the child to feel free and choose the sector that pleases her. And let her start having orientation towards that sector.
Okay, oui.
Oui, ce que je voudrais ajouter, c'est qu'elle a dit très bien, il n'est jamais trop tard. Peu importe la base que tu as prise, il suffit d'avoir la volonté et de savoir ce qu'on veut. Moi, j'ai eu une formation généraliste, mais j'ai switché par la suite. Parce que je me suis dit, voilà ce que je veux. Ça n'a pas été facile, c'était très très difficile. C'était difficile, mais il fallait que j'y arrive. Au départ, je confondais le navire, le bateau, je confondais tout. Les gens de mer, je mélangeais tous les différents textes de loi, je ne comprenais plus rien. Il a fallu que je prenne 2 semaines au moins dans la bibliothèque pour lire le vocabulaire, parce que le vocabulaire du shipping, ça n'a rien à voir avec notre vocabulaire habituel. Donc c'est pour dire qu'il suffit d'avoir la volonté. Il suffit d'avoir la volonté. Au départ, on peut ne pas savoir, mais après, on change. Il faut savoir que bon, dans les fonctions du maritime, ou alors les activités du maritime, il n'y a pas que des marins. On peut travailler dans l'administration, on peut travailler avec des aconniers, on peut être des transitaires, on peut travailler dans l'administration, on peut travailler au port. Vous voyez, au port autonome de Limbe, au ministère du Transport et tout ça. Donc, il suffit de ça. C'est vaste, comme elle a dit, c'est un domaine hyper vaste et tout ça va ensemble, c'est un tout. Une fois qu'on s'y retrouve, on trouve automatiquement sa voie. C'est ce que je voulais ajouter tout à l'heure.
Good evening, and an educative program as usual. Okay, greetings to you, Mr. Leo. The problem is that the offshore companies don't give opportunities to graduates from Cameroon. You need connection to get into an oil company. I have a degree in petroleum and chemical engineering. All my efforts to get a job were fruitless, sir. It's really frustrating that you study engineering for 4 years but no job. This one says, wow, I love this program. Thank you, Mr. Liu. Very educative. I'm sure they're going to answer you for the person who just raised that question. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Quite an enriching program. Wow, so impressive hearing from these great women of valor speaking out in this sector. More encouragement to them and their association Wista as they lead, orientate, sensitize, and pave the way for more of our younger girls to embrace this sector. The truth is that many of our young girls are ignorant of this sector, industry, and have some kind of phobia for it. I suggest this association create regional branches and make herself well known, especially in the Southwest region. I feel so delighted seeing my secondary school classmate Mabel. Kudos to her. Wishing you the best in your endeavors. Engineer Clifford Mesumbe, writing from Boya. Good evening to you. Good evening. I'm Lumble Singh, a student in the Department of Maritime Transport and Logistics in the University of Bamenda. I'm willing for the woman in white to be my mentor in maritime transport. Thank you, okay? Good evening, Mr. Leo. Quite an enriching program. Wow, so impressive hearing from these great women, okay? Now, somebody says it is difficult to get a job, especially from these international guys. Can we understand?
That is why we are here. We also want to talk to the company owners, ship owners.
Okay.
Because they don't recruit. It depends where his certificate is coming from. That is where the problem is. If it's not recognized by the international organizations, they won't send him, because most of this petroleum, he studied petroleum engineering, right? You have to go offshore. For you to go offshore, there's a lot of documentation that has to suit the international standards. There are surveyors that check all these certifications. If your school doesn't fall under the schools that are recognized, they won't offer the job. The jobs are there, but we are not qualified because we are going to the wrong schools. We are wrongly orientated, as our sister said. So we are here to also encourage the company's owners. Sometimes they should consider those that have been to the right schools as well to offer the jobs for them.
Yes, you had something to add to that?
No, I'm okay with what she's saying.
Okay.
And they can seek for mentors to orientate. He should get close to someone that is in the sector that can better advise where his problem is, which school he has to go to, which certificate is the problem that he is lacking in order to get the job in the petroleum engineer.
Yes, the engineer, you are the president of Wista in Cameroon.
Yes.
What are the activities so far that you have carried out, and how satisfactory they've been?
So far, we've been to some schools in Bamenda, secondaries, GTHS Bamenda, and then we've been to some schools in Yaoundé. We've been to Limbe, Boya, Hims University.
Okay.
And we've been to some Seka Baptist College. We've been to some schools here in Douala. So we want to reach out to the 10 regions and talk to these young girls, take their numbers, because we had a scholarship opportunity 2021. They were looking for 500 young girls to study in the UK, to study nautical science, marine engineering, and we didn't have a database of contacts that we could send the link for parents to give their children to apply to gain the scholarship. So when we go to these schools, we get their contact numbers, we create a database, so when there's an opportunity, we can always reach out to them and even answer their questions as they are asking you online. Yeah. Now we've also been to Idi now. We are reaching out to women, as our mommy said, that are into smoking of fish. We are planning to reach out to women that are into fishing. We have women in Cameroon, especially the Bakassi area, that are into fishing. We want to reach out to them, do some workshop, encourage them, yes, and a whole lot of plans that we have to carry out in Cameroon.
Okay. But those persons you've met already, you say you've been to the Northwest, Central region, you've been to the Southwest,
Littoral.
And Littoral. Yes. Has there been any follow-up, or is it too early to do follow-up?
We follow up some of them, and we've been to Linafi in Limbe, the fishery school.
Yeah.
We spoke with the director, and he was like, most companies come for the boys, they don't want to take the girls. So we went out to some shipping companies and we asked them, why do you have any woman on board your ships? They were like, no. We were like, why not? We have a lot of women that are qualified, and they were interested in having young girls on board their vessels. So some of them are ready, some shipping companies are ready to have women on board, and some are still not ready. maybe because the women are few that have actually gone through this maritime schools and institutions. So the school in Limbe, we are doing a follow-up. We go there time to time. We do we talk to the girls. We encourage them. They ask me questions, especially those that are studying marine engineering, how to behave on board as a woman, because I didn't have that. I didn't have someone in Cameroon that had sailed that could share their story of how you should carry yourself, or how you should focus, or how you should behave among the men. So my reference was Captain Hannah in Ghana, that was the first female captain from Ghana. So I always call her for advice. So when we go to these schools, we talk to these girls, we mentor them, we encourage them, and we are like a pillar to them. Yeah, so that is it.
Yeah, but this sector, you see, you are on the vessel.
Yeah.
You go for how long before coming
3
back?
months
You stay
on
with,
and 2 months off.
okay, you go 3 months and then you come and rest.
Yeah.
While resting, you do nothing.
While resting, maybe I can indulge in other activities, like if I want to learn other passions.
I have an idea of how much it can cost to sponsor a child in the Regional Maritime University in Accra, Ghana. Say in nautical engineering, Simon Boo is writing from Meganga in the Adamawa.
How much it costs?
Yes.
I think we should just send him to the website. But
Yes.
it's not much, because I think generally the school fees is around, 3 million, and the government takes a good portion of that. It's about that. That
3
is-
million
Yes,
a year.
because it is subsidized.
No, it's
Là, c'est même le prix est même bon. Comment on dit, c'est un secteur
1 million
assez...
per semester.
C'est un
So,
point,
2
c'est assez
2
technique,
million, that is
c'est
flight
pointu,
tickets.
et par
Everything,
conséquent,
but
la
it's a
formation
package.
aussi
Yes, because
coûte
you
un
don't
peu
pay 1
cher.
million, and when the
Donc,
child
lorsqu'elle
comes,
parle de
it's
3
3
millions, c'est pas comme si c'était trop élevé. Et comme on l'a dit, l'État prend en charge une bonne partie. Donc, s'il veut être régulièrement informé, qu'il aille seulement sur le site. C'est pour ça qu'on parle de la digitalisation aujourd'hui. C'est pour ça que l'ONU a trouvé, a adopté ce thème-là à cette édition. La digitalisation, innovation et technologie pour l'égalité de genre. Donc, la digitalisation, il suffit qu'il aille sur le net, qu'il tape. Tout est sur le net.
Oui.
Toute information que tu veux est sur le net. C'est pourquoi on encourage les uns et les autres à la digitalisation aujourd'hui. Mais sauf qu'il faut savoir exactement ce qu'on y recherche. Donc, il
Registration
faut aller
is
sur le
online.
site et puis...
And that amount is a global amount. I just put together everything, the air
Flight
tickets,
tickets,
flights, the lodging there.
Like what we see behind you there?
5,000 passenger ship.
It's a passenger
A
ship.
passenger
Okay,
ship.
passenger ship. Okay.
That
Yes.
one looks
Once your
like a
certificates
bulk
are
carrier.
correct, you get recruited on board a cruise ship. We don't even find it here in Africa often. So these ships are brand new ships.
Container carrier.
They are always maintained on a daily basis. They have qualified engineers on board. So it's not like those days. What they are scared about is maybe movies that they are watching. It's very safe. We put the ship on autopilot, like the plane. When you're on the flight, the pilot is taking coffee, the plane is moving. That's what happens on the ship. Once we plot the chart, we are going to Angola, for example. Nobody is there steering the ship. We already plot the chart, and the ship is taking us to Angola, to the port. We are just looking out for maybe obstacles. If you see a vessel, you deviate. That is all what we do. We drink coffee. Those on the bridge drink coffee, but those of us in the engine room, you have to look out for maybe leaks, if everything is okay. It's if we had a picture of my engine room, I could show it's very clean and new. So
Your engine room?
Yeah.
You have it there?
I have it on my laptop, maybe next time.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm so delighted to have these Iron ladies talk to us about maritime education. I have my sister-in-law in one school in Douala doing maritime transport and logistics. I want to find out from Mama with the Afro hairstyle if I can connect my sister-in-law to her. If yes, can she please give me her number? Thank you, Mr. Liu. Many persons really want to get to you. Should I share your number?
Yes, she can.
Okay, so please, after the program, you have this maritime program in Ghana. Very, very possible. Yes, we are talking about, we are holding this program because tomorrow is the International Day of the Woman. And we are talking about the theme of the day, of the celebration for this year. Yes, how do you factor in the theme for this year's celebration in your activities as Wista?
The activity for this year, the theme of this year, talking about digitalization.
Yes.
I think is something that is often spoken about in our conferences, in our meetings. The world is moving to that era. And this came from the COVID. During the COVID, goods could move from one place to another, in spite of the fact that we couldn't physically move from one place to another. So I think this is where it all started. So I want to say that we as women should rise up to make sure, as we're saying, Mommy was saying in our meetings this afternoon, that we do research. We try to study more about what is going on when it comes to technology as women. As you read just this evening online, the women in India, they are doing a great job. So those of us here in Africa especially, we shouldn't look back and say we are just out to make babies and children. We can do more than that. We can study robotic engineering. I work on board a vessel. I'd never seen a woman that came on board that vessel to work on the robots. But the schools are out there, and we are just ignorant of.
We have a member who specializes in that.
Yes, Njema, yeah. She's the first from Cameroon, I must say that, to study robotic engineering. So, and we have chemical engineering also in the offshore, where women can find themselves. Mechanical engineering, surveyors. All this, you need to be able to love the technology and love what is digital. If you don't have passion for it, we can't make it. So I want to encourage all the young girls there that it's possible. Let's, as Metro said, let's not also only focus on becoming doctors and nurses. Let's think on becoming technical engineers, consultants, surveyors. I was called up by ABS, a survey company, American Bureau of Shipping, a white woman.
Of the
top survey company. She walked to me. I was like, she's never seen a woman in the dry dock here in Douala. Where am I from? That she's from Romania. She's been here for 5 years, and she wanted me to come to ABS. I said, okay, I have to go back for my license before I come back. And she was like, there is no female, that they're looking for a female surveyor in Cameroon, and they can't find one. She gave me the card of her boss in the US, and I wasn't interested in studying survey. I was in the marine engineering sector, like to become a chief engineer. So I was like, so we don't have a female surveyor from Cameroon. Till today, we don't have one.
But it will not be possible, because you need to get to that level of chief engineer before you think about becoming a surveyor.
Exactly. You need to become a chief engineer before you can venture becoming a surveyor. So one thing must lead to another. So there is a whole lot that we are ignorant about as women when we are talking about digitalization. It's not, and she said we should always use our phone rightly, not Facebooking, WhatsApp. We should do research. We should try to know what is happening in this sector. If they're talking about the maritime industry, we should be eager to learn, eager to upgrade, eager to study and know more and more and more on whatever we are studying at school.
I think Mabel should say something about that, because she presented a paper to us during our WhatsApp, exchange this afternoon.
Okay, yes, Mabel, did you, during that presentation, are you calling on young girls to focus more on research, especially in this domain, than the WhatsApping, like the engineer saying?
Yes, Mr. Leo, one of the things that I was emphasizing on is that you should use your time rightly. Be determined. be determined on what you want to do and make sure you don't derive your attention. I was talking about digitalization, and I was talking about how to get there. I mentioned about mentorship. Get the right people. Don't look at your goal, what you want to achieve, what you want to do. Get the right people on your channel and move towards them. Make sure that your goals are oriented towards those kind of people. Your time is spent with those people. Take time on your phone and do research on the right things. I don't waste a lot of time in WhatsApping and the rest. I'm always on Google. Google is my best friend. So do a lot of research because I'm hungry to learn. I know that the maritime domain, she started it early. That's why I say it's never too late. I didn't start it very early, but I'm getting there slowly, but I'm getting there. So be determined to get somewhere and match up to the task, especially the young girls. We just have this kind of nonchalant attitude. We don't want to, there are some things that it's like we are leaving it for the man. Yeah. And tomorrow we'll come and see that there's no gender equality, of which the man was there preparing himself. You were there wasting time on other things. So when you want to talk of gender equality, we want to talk of digitalization, we want to talk of meeting up to the challenge, you have to be ready yourself as a lady.
Okay, so this person is sending a certificate that I'm a Marine. Please, Mr. Liu, tell the woman in the studio. Good evening, Mr. Liu. You have an interesting program. I don't know, you're a Marine, I don't know. Just get to Mr. Etape and express your worry. If you need to talk to the engineer, she'll direct you, or to mom, or to barrister here. I will share just one number. For those who want their numbers, I'll share her number. And when you get to them, to her, please request either to talk to mom or to the engineer or to barrister or to her. It's an association, huh? So you can. So you're asking ladies to forgo certain things.
Yes. That they should forgo that which is not really necessary for them.
So that they can become like.
So that they can become like
they can become like mom. They can become like barrister and yourself. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, they should focus on things that are important, and spend less time on things that will not help them. And they should know that they can do it. They shouldn't be like. They shouldn't conclude that it's difficult. There's nothing easy anyway. There's no good thing that is easy. So when a man tells you that it's difficult, or somebody says it's difficult, it's because it's worth it. That is why it's difficult. It's worth your strength. It's worth your determination. So be determined and be focused. You will get there. It might not be that fast, but slowly you will surely get there.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Very inspiring program. But please ask those ladies this question: how possible can a father who earns 41,000 francs in Cameroon afford such school fees to satisfy the dreams of her? Okay. Zacchaeus is writing from Yaoundé. Zacchaeus, when there's a will, you push for it. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Love your program. Vela writing from Boya. Please for captain's number. Okay. When you want something, you go for it. That is what we were taught in the university. Prof. Eno Tanjong told us that. This one says, I've gone to the website. Is the 3 million yearly or for the whole course up to the bachelor's degree? Mr. Kum, I also need the phone number you'll be sharing. Thanks, okay? Please, I have my sister is the one, okay? Just get to her. How are you people celebrating the Women's Day? Mom? One? Okay, you're not celebrating?
We're celebrating in various structures, like the Port of Kribi. We are having some celebrations that will be taking place tomorrow, PRD, because we have members from CNCC, Limbe, the Marie Marchand Limbe, Ministry of Transport, Kribi Port. So we have our barrister also as a member. So we have members from CNC, SEMA CGM. It's a shipping company, and we want to encourage and plead with our government to see how they can partner with these shipping companies. How Cameroonians can work on board their vessels. Because in other countries like Ivory Coast, the government made some agreement that you need to have maybe 200 of our nationals on board your vessel. Ghana is doing the same with a company like Tidewater. So here in Cameroon, we are still waiting on our government to partner with such companies so it can create jobs for those of us that can go to these schools in Ghana and be able to get jobs.
Okay, this is also going to help many of our brothers who have some of these degrees and are jobless.
Jobless, a lot are jobless. A guy wrote me that he's been home for 2 years and he had first class in marine engineering. It is very serious. So we are here to talk on the behalf of the women and the men as well who are graduating from these schools.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Please, can I have Ms. Mbeng Elizabeth's number? I am Akko, a student from RMA, Accra, Ghana. Good evening, Mr. Kum. I'm waiting. I am writing from Boya. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. I need Madam Mabuh's number. I'm Comfort, writing from Kumba. Good evening, my name is Jerry from Yaoundé. Please, I want to know if someone who is having advanced level can study there. Yes. Yes, very sure. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please, which of these schools that are really recommended and recognized to do this engineering stuff? We have said that there is a school in Ghana and in Cameroon. What is very sure is the Institute of Maritime and Logistics in the University of Amanda. Yes. How are you celebrating the day tomorrow?
Tomorrow, as we are not celebrating as Wista. We are not celebrating as Wista like a group. We are celebrating as members of Wista in our different companies. Yeah. So I'm of the Port Authority of Douala. So I will be celebrating with the women of the port. We've had several activities within the week, and we are running up tomorrow with a match pass, which will later on go with a dinner or gala. I don't know how I can put it. So it will be a very beautiful celebration, celebrating ourselves like women and celebrating ourselves of what we can do and what we can give to the society. So same with the people, the Wistas members of Port of Limbe, Port of Kribi, they'll be celebrating in their various companies. Yeah. Pardon? Ministry of Transport, they'll be celebrating in their ministry. So it will be a worldwide celebration.
A worldwide decentralized celebration.
Yes. Wista members.
Yes.
Donc, comme ils l'ont dit, c'est chacun dans sa structure et tout. Le barreau a une semaine du barreau, mais moi particulièrement déjà, chaque année, j'ai une manière particulière de la célébrer. Déjà, la robe là qu'on appelle le kaba, ou c'est le tissu là, moi je le mets pas parce que pour moi c'est une journée où il faut beaucoup s'interroger, il faut critiquer, il faut s'interroger, il faut se remettre en question. Et je suis parfois surprise de voir les femmes aller boire, se saouler la gueule, dormir dans des caniveaux alors que il y a des difficultés. Elles sont de plus en plus nombreuses, les difficultés qu'il faille surmonter. Et à cette occasion, le cabinet Tchemani a organisé une journée porte ouverte samedi dernier pour parler aux femmes de divers domaines de droit, les écouter, leur donner des conseils, partager, échanger. Et tout comme le barreau même est en train d'organiser pendant cette semaine de l'avocat, les journées portes ouvertes, les festivités vont suivre. Mais pour le moment, bon, voilà, dans l'ensemble, fêter, non, moi je ne le fais pas. Je m'interroge plutôt.
Tu t'interroges plutôt. What is the... No, mommy, let me come with you. What is the Women's Day celebration message you have for young girls?
I would love to encourage our young girls to know that they have a lot of capabilities that they could explore and exploit. I would love to encourage them not to see themselves as handicapped because they are women, that they can do whatever they want to do if they decide to work hard, because there's a lot of laziness. And then after that, we begin to talk about, inequalities. If we could just work hard, I'm telling you, if you work hard, you will make it. I love this verse in the Bible that, I think it's Proverbs 22, verse 29. It says, do you see a man or woman diligent at his work? They will stand before kings and not fools. You see? So I'm encouraging them to be diligent, to work hard. They will make it. When you get to a certain level, you cannot be ignored. So that is the message I have for our young girls. Actually, last year I was in Ghana. I was invited to sit on the panel for the young African women, professional women from all the countries in Africa almost. I sat on the panel to talk to them. And the elderly women kept coming back to insist to the younger ones that gone are the days when beauty could lift anybody to any level. That they just need to work very hard and know that if they work hard, they will make it to the top. Because if you're counting on beauty, it will soon fade. So you build up yourself professionally. As Mabel was saying this afternoon, equip yourself professionally and you will be able to fit, at any level.
Okay, Ako Fidelis Egbe is sending me a certificate from the Regional Maritime Academy, Accra, Ghana, and he sent me pictures, I'm sure field pictures. I see him swimming here and then doing a lot with his... I can imagine that he's enjoying what he studied. He's a very fulfilled guy, but he's requesting for your number. I hope he gets it from you, Mr. Tape. Good evening, Mr. Kum. The program is interesting, but I wish to know if someone with a first degree in journalism is qualified to do maritime school for a master's. Say Henry, writing from Likumba. Good evening. Yes, I'm sure everybody.
Masters?
Okay, you have first degree in No. You have to go and start all over.
You have to start all over and choose a field, what you want to study.
Because you want to go and do masters in something you don't have the basic.
Exactly.
It's not possible, my brother. Why you don't want to do what we are doing, my brother? Okay.
It's never too late. He can go back and just start from level 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. This is Glory from Limbe. Very interesting program. At 43, can I begin my maritime career?
Yes. My classmates were 50.
Okay.
I had classmates finish and they had some were almost getting to retirement, but they started all over.
Okay, so almost everybody in this on this platform says you can at 43. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and all the ladies in the studio. I love your program this evening. Please, can I also have the number you are sharing? Theodore Mengot is writing from Yaoundé. Yes, I will send you the number. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Please, I want to ask if someone who is about 52 years can still study in the Maritime Academy in Ghana. Manyo is writing from Tico. Yes, Manyo is very possible. Hi, doctor. Good evening. Tico, please, I would know more about this, international shipping company. I will send you the number. Please, if you want their number, can you just send me a request on WhatsApp? Send me a request on WhatsApp and I'll send the number. Good evening, Mr. Leo. This is Abdel writing from Yaoundé. I want to ask if it is possible for an accountant to work at the port, or is there particular training for that? How can we have jobs at the seaport? Yes, so we have been talking about going to the maritime school. Now, if you want to work at the seaport, must you necessarily go to this maritime school? Or there are some special schools?
Non, pas forcément, ouais. Pas forcément, parce que là, comme on l'a dit, c'est plus, c'est pour les techniciens, mais on peut aussi travailler dans l'administration. Donc, tu n'as pas forcément besoin d'y aller. Il faut simplement suivre, le canevas qui va.
In the administrative sector, you have accountants.
Par exemple, au service de communication au port autonome de Kribi, Madame Reine Osiongol, elle a au service de la communication, elle a fait le journalisme, je crois. Sa base sur le journalisme, et pourtant elle est au port autonome de Kribi. Donc c'était pour dire qu'on peut travailler également dans l'administration, tout comme aucun système ne peut fonctionner sans comptabilité. Donc on peut bien avoir les comptables dans cette entreprise.
Which means that accountants could join the accountants working in the maritime sector
Yes.
could join the association.
Yes.
Those in the communication sector,
Yes.
human resource, everybody can be
Everybody.
part of it. Yes, you must not
Trade.
necessarily be the engineer or the captain or
Yeah.
the pilot.
Exactly.
Okay, so everybody, all you need to do is to get interested in the sector. There are ports in Limbe, in Tico, those smaller. There is Kribi and there is Douala. So if you find yourself working for these structures, you could integrate the Wista, and we want to thank them for coming. Mom, we are very grateful to have had you here with us this evening.
Yeah, Mr. Leo, it was so exciting working with you, and I'm so glad to find somebody who can sit with women and feel at ease the way you do. It's a gift, you know, and then we have had this opportunity, you know, to tell people what we are doing and, you know, open up to them to tell them that there are other things they could do apart from the regular professions that we all know. And we are hoping that after this, if we get into contact with them, we'll be able to give them more information, and then why not, you know, serve as mentors, because we want to be profitable to the generation that is coming after us, the Mabels, and the Mabels want to be profitable to the generation that is coming after them.
Okay.
Sure.
Tifu says, can you please send me the number of the Wista Cameroon? Good evening to you, Mr. Nj. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm Emmanuel writing from Tico. Please, how can I get to them directly? Okay, I'll send you Mr. Tape's number so that you can get to them. Hi, hello, sir. Please, for the number you have been sending to others, okay? Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm requesting for the lady in white's number. Is it okay? Please, those technical questions, I cannot answer them. Just get to them directly. They will provide you with answers. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Beautiful program. I'm a degree holder in transport and logistics. Please, with the number 2, Danny Dan Jumashe, writing from Douala. Good evening to you. But Wista, for you guys are working with women, eh? Not for men. The men are already dominating. So the little opportunities that exist to go to the women. Yes.
Go to the women.
Good evening, sir. Please send the number of those women on TV. Good evening, Mr. Liu and co enjoying the program from Santa. Please for the number 2. Okay. So many men are requesting for these numbers. Where are the ladies? You cry marginalization. This is your opportunity. The men will still seize it for you. Thank you for coming, engineer.
You're welcome. I want to say one last thing.
Okay.
I want to talk to the young girls. My advice, if you finally decide to study marine engineering or nautical science, let nobody talk down on you. Let nobody discourage you, because a lot of people discouraged me. A lot of people told me it was impossible for me to become an engineer on board the vessel. Not only engineering, even to become a surveyor. People would discourage you. But I want to tell you tonight that you should stand your grounds. Everything is possible. If other women are making it out there, we can make it here in Cameroon. That's my word to them.
Okay. Good evening. I'm enjoying the program with Wista Cameroon. Please help me with the number of the engineer. Okay. Yes. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. I want to call on all the women in the maritime sector. As you can see from the program, there are a lot of ladies that need help. So we, the women in the maritime sector, we are the ones to give help to these younger ones. We are the ones to help orientate them. We are the ones to help lead them to the right path. So I'm calling on all the women in the maritime sector, Port of Douala, Port Authority of Kribi, Limbe, Ministry of Transport. Let's come together as Wista to see how we can orientate the younger generation and to see how we can meet up to the challenge ourselves to the top management positions that we all hunger for. So that is the word for tonight that I'm sending out there.
Okay. So many
all the
requests
women.
for numbers streaming in. Merci d'être passé par ici.
Merci beaucoup.
Maître.
Merci beaucoup, Léo. C'est un véritable plaisir pour moi de me retrouver ici, de changer. Et j'espère le retour est déjà bon. Nous espérons que les jeunes ont très bien compris, surtout les jeunes filles, qu'elles ont compris au regard des différentes intervenantes qui sont sur le plateau que tout est possible, qui ne pensent pas que le secteur maritime est réservé à une certaine catégorie de personnes simplement. Non, toutes peuvent le faire. Pour ceux qui sont encore très jeunes, c'est très bien, ils peuvent se diriger immédiatement. Ceux qui ont déjà un certain âge, ils peuvent toujours shifter et il ne se fait jamais très tard. Et les femmes, Mabel l'a si bien dit, utilisez votre téléphone à dessein. La digitalisation, il faut savoir ce qu'on recherche. Utilisez son téléphone dans le bon sens. Ne pas perdre son temps. Arrêtez de croire que la vie est facile, qu'il suffit de toucher certains cercles, d'entrer dans des cercles vicieux, d'exposer son corps parce qu'on est belle, de l'exposer pour gagner dignement sa vie. Non, c'est déjà indigne. Alors qu'en se mettant sérieusement